Hey guys, what's happening? Welcome to the United Talk. Manchester United 4, Newcastle United 1, a game that we desperately needed to win. Must-win game for us. And you know what? People are going to say it was just Newcastle, and they're not wrong. They're not wrong. It was just Newcastle. But before the game, all of the United fans were thinking just to win today, just to win, just put in a good performance, do well for the team. I think that's what we got. And I saw the lineup, and I was like, nothing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can do right now that can please everyone, because some people are Ole in, some people are Ole out, some people are not going to like any of the decisions that he makes, some people are going to accept all the decisions that he does make. And I think with the decision of playing McTominay and Fred, I was happy that Fred was playing, but with McTominay I was a little bit skeptical because he's not had a good game in the recent past. And yesterday as well, I thought he did not have a good game. I think he didn't have a very, very bad game, but with his standard, I think he himself can do better. And then that's a big problem for us. And that first goal that we conceded, right, the own goal. Now, I think all of the United defense, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Shaw, Lindelof, all of them are out of position. And then Shaw was able to recover. But because Dan James was not tracking back, he had two men that he had to take care of. And then again, when that happens, more likely you're not going to come out winning, right? That was a big problem. And McTominay and Fred went missing in the first 2 minutes as well, and that's why there was no one to take care of Shelby and his pass and all those things. So I think I looked at that and I was like, this United defense right now is like a wall of glass. You know, you go through it and it just shatters. It's so weak. It's so easy to be penetrate. It is very easy to penetrate because if you look at Lindelof, he can be turned very easily, very quickly. Maguire can be turned very easily, very quickly as well. Yes, Bailly is a very good option. I would have preferred Bailly over Maguire yesterday because I thought I was one of those many people who thought Pogba should have been dropped. I thought Maguire should have been dropped, right? Because what has Maguire to do what has he to do to get a drop? He's been bad in the past few games, but whatever it is, we don't have any good replacement on the bench. We do have Eric Bailly, and Eric Bailly is better than what we have at the moment. But the problem is, he's not the best. He's not the best solution out there, is he? And that's a big problem. So, for the first goal, I think everyone was out of place. Everyone was they had no idea what was going on. Very bad goal to concede. Unlucky in a way, because of course, that is not on Shaw, because anybody who was there in that position at that time would have conceded that goal. So it's not on Shaw, but I think as a defense, everybody was they were not properly organized. Let me put it that way. But then the game went ahead, and I thought, here we go again. It's the same thing all over again. And I was pleasantly surprised with Wan-Bissaka's performance, because I sat here a couple of weeks ago and said Wan-Bissaka should not be at this club along with Jesse Lingard and Andres Pereira. And I believed that. I thought Wan-Bissaka is way past his best, and whenever he puts in a good performance, he only does it against teams in the Championship and League One, in the cups, in the local cups, domestic cups. And I didn't think that Mata has it in him to actually perform the way he performed last night. The problem is, Wan-Bissaka, since the time he came from Chelsea in the January, right? January of how many years has it been now? 7 years almost, right? Since the time he came from Chelsea in January, every manager has played him on the right wing. You look at right now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer predominantly uses him on the right wing. Mourinho hardly used him. Whenever used him on the right wing. Louis van Gaal used him on the right wing. David Moyes right wing. He's a classic number 10. Why would you use him on the right wing for so many years? And I think today, yesterday, he rolled back years with that performance of playing in the number 10 role, because his link-up play, his one-touch passing with Bruno Fernandes was simply outstanding. It was outstanding, and it was a treat to watch as well. It was amazing, and that's what you want from Wan-Bissaka, playing in that position, linking up the teammates. And the problem is, now Dan James for me had a decent game in the beginning, in the first half. The problem is, Dan James, whatever good he did for the team, was like when he was running at the defense. He put his head down and just runs, right? His shot selection is not good. His shot accuracy is not good, so he needs to improve on that. I think his crossing is poor. his wing play, general wing play. I mean, he is a left winger and he does put some decent crosses in last season for some assists, but I think he's more of a left winger than a right winger. Needs to work on his crosses as well. So I think with Dan James, what you have is a player who can be very effective against teams like Man City, who are just attacking you, and you need someone to counter-attack them with pace. I think that there Dan James becomes very important, especially if you have a team like that. And I mean, Dan James is on the bench, and you bring him on the 70th minute when defense is tiring, and he does that for you. But against this team, and that's what I mean about Wan-Bissaka as well. Now, Wan-Bissaka won't be effective against Man City, I believe, because Wan-Bissaka, no matter how big a quality player he is, in the end he's 32 now. He is slow now. There's no denying that fact. So with him, I think you're not going to get that quickness of play. I mean, yesterday you got one-touch passing, yes, but Newcastle were just sitting back. They were sitting back, right? So I think that's the thing. Dan James has to play in games against big teams where you're looking to counter-attack, and Wan-Bissaka can be very effective against these teams like Newcastle, who want to sit and who want to defend, because he can help Bruno Fernandes unlock the defense. And in the first half, while there was some coordination, or a very good coordination between Mata and Bruno, and sometimes Rashford as well, it was not the same with Dan James. And you could see that when Van de Beek came on for Dan James, because when Van de Beek came on, the cohesion of the team was much better. I mean, the truth is, and the fact is, when Van de Beek came on, we were still 1-1. And then when we finished the game after 15-20 minutes, we were 4-1 up. And that's the difference. And I know that the defense was tiring, and this is not an excuse and all those things, but still, Van de Beek has a better football intelligence than Dan James. So I think if Wan-Bissaka can play on the right wing for 7 years, why can't Van de Beek do that? I mean, what has Van de Beek to do to get a game for Manchester United in the Premier League? I mean, to start a game. It's crazy, but I think yesterday's performance was a performance that was required. I mean, well, like I was talking about the defense and it being like a glass wall. Now, if you look at the positives, yes, Wan-Bissaka was a positive. Yes, David De Gea was a big positive, because yes, Newcastle did not attack the way Chelsea will, or Arsenal will, or PSG will, and RB Leipzig will, and Everton will. But you look at David De Gea, and he knows that there's Dean Henderson sitting there waiting to come and take his place in the team, right? That's the impact of competition, good quality competition in the team. You have Luke Shaw. In the first 10-15 minutes, he was not great, but he grew into the game, and in the second half, his attacking play was really good. Now, Luke Shaw, he knows that there's someone called Alex Telles sitting in the wings waiting to take his position. So, you look at Bruno and Pogba, and I'm not saying Bruno is the type of player who will go missing for 89 minutes and just have that 1 minute of brilliance and just change the game on its head, right? Miss the penalty, but then score a wonderful team goal. So, and by the way, that team goal was started by Van de Beek to Wan-Bissaka to Bruno Fernandes to Marcus Rashford to Bruno Fernandes. Amazing team goal. You look at the players involved. People say, and I thought Pogba, Van de Beek, and Bruno cannot play together. And against most teams they cannot. But then sometimes they can, and they should. At least Van de Beek and Bruno Fernandes should be playing together. But if you look at the entire performance, and you see the impact of competition, quality competition, and what it does for your team, players automatically try to pick up their game, because then they have a threat of missing out, because there's someone else equally as good as them or even better waiting in the wings to take their position. And that's why I was crying out loud for a defender. I was crying out loud for a right winger. We desperately needed, and that's why I think we needed Van de Beek. He might not play right now, but I think he has an impact on the players who are playing. Like, look at Pogba. Pogba was dropped for this game. Now, Paul Pogba on his day is a world-class player. The problem with him is consistency. Now, when you have a player who's like that, who's difficult to manage on the field because you don't know what you're going to get with him day in, day out, right? It's good that he is dropped sometimes, because that gives him the understanding that, okay, I have competition for places now. If I don't play consistently well, I will not start. I think that's very important, and that's what we do not have in the defense, because Maguire and Lindelof, they just walk into that side. Eric Bailly, I don't know why Eric Bailly didn't start yesterday, but I don't think Solskjaer trusts Eric Bailly. We don't have anyone else apart from Tounzibi, who's never fit. I hope he remains fit now, but that's a big problem. And Look, that Maguire goal and that Wan-Bissaka goal. What a goal from Wan-Bissaka, by the way. Good header from Maguire. That's why we bought Maguire, to score those headers, to head those poles out when trying to defend. So those goals are going to give them confidence, and that's very important as well, because now Luke Shaw has competition. Maguire got a goal. Wan-Bissaka got a goal. Right? So if these 3 players out of 4 get confidence to play better in the next game, it's going to be very, very important for us. Very important. But I mean, you talked about positives, and now the problem is all this is fine in theory, but the central defensive area, the defensive midfield area, I don't think Pogba and Matic can play together anymore. I don't see that I mean, I see that happening, but I don't think that's a good choice, because Pogba is a liability in defense, right? And Matic, he is the best defensive midfielder we have right now at the club. Problem is, he's still like Mata. He's 33, so he has lost a yard or 2 in pace. He has. There's no denying that. So the problem is, when you have Bruno Fernandes playing almost as a second striker, just like how Van der Beek plays sometimes in the cup games, there's a lot of gap. There's a big gap between the defensive midfield and the attacking midfield, and that's the place that the opposition capitalizes on. And as a defensive midfielder, you need to be very wary about that. The problem is, you don't have an N'Golo Kante who's very tenacious. You have a Fred who can do that, and I think McTominay is not a CDM, but Fred can do that role. But then again, just like Diogo Dalot, who's on loan now, just like Eric Bailly, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does not trust Fred. I'm sure about that, because yesterday as well, McTominay played 90 minutes and Fred was taking off, and I was a little bit surprised with that. So I know that Solskjaer does not trust Fred enough, but I think Fred is the one who can play with Pogba in that. If you have to play Pogba in the number 6 role, then it has to be with Fred, because I think Fred gives you that energy, that athleticism. I think that tenacity that you need someone, I mean, in someone who's alongside Paul Pogba, because Paul Pogba is not going to give you too much in defense. So that's interesting to see, because what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does. And if you look at Man City, and they can play Bernardo Silva and Phil Foden, who are actually attacking players, in that number 8 role, and it works for them because they have a very different system than us. It doesn't work for us. So it's very important to see what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does in the next game. But the next game is against PSG, and then you have Chelsea, you have RB Leipzig, you have Arsenal, you have Istanbul, and then you have Everton away. Wow, we have crazy games coming up. Against PSG, I mean, you see the likes of Mbappe, and you see the likes of Neymar and Di Maria, and Di Maria always has a point to prove against Manchester United, right? So I don't see us winning that game. If I'm being completely honest, I don't see us winning that game, because yes, I hope the goals yesterday gave Maguire and Wan-Bissaka some confidence. I think Wan-Bissaka hopefully can keep Di Maria in his pocket, but I am really doubtful about this, and I want Manchester United to win. I want them to win. The thing is, this PSG game, I mean, they have too much quality, and we do have Martial coming back. Hopefully Greenwood can play as well, but I think the defensive midfield area is a big problem for me. If the defense is not performing, you need a solid player there who can be tenacious, who can provide that energy in the midfield. And while Matic is a very good player, playing very well as well, he doesn't give you that energy anymore, right? Because he's 33 now, and it's natural. It's not against Nemanja Matic. I'm not going against him. It's just that it's a fact. It is a fact. So I think that's a big problem area for me. And Neymar can operate in that area. If Neymar operates in that area without any pressure on him, we are in for a terrible ride on the Champions League night. But let's see what happens. Good, we got the win yesterday, a very good win as well. PSG, Chelsea, Arsenal, like I said before, very tough games, very, very tough games. But hopefully, these are the games. I mean, if you can win these games, you certainly have turned the tide. You certainly have turned the times. Because horrible start to the season, of course you were unfit, and I said that after the first weekend, that if Wolves can perform, if Man City can perform, we can perform as well, because we've had the equal time off. But I do think, I mean, I'm not changing my statement here, but I do realize it now, maybe, right, that there was some fitness issue with Manchester United. And if you look at the first game against Crystal Palace, we didn't have a proper pre-season. That's right, we didn't have a proper pre-season against Brighton. And I mean, don't get me wrong, we should have still beaten those teams easily because of the quality of the players we have. But now that we're starting to get more minutes, more legs, right, on the field, in the players' legs, I think now fitness cannot be an issue anymore. So it has to be about tactics, it has to be about performance, and hopefully we get the best out of these players sooner, because these run of games, they can either make you forget that 6-1 defeat very, very quickly for good reasons, or it can make you forget that 6-1 defeat very, very easily because of bad reasons, because of what's happening right now against these sides. So I think it's very important to win those games, to try and win those games. But let's see what happens. Do let me know in the comment section below what do you think. Who was your man of the match? If you are new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and also do not forget to press that bell icon so that as soon as I upload the video, you get a notification. Till the next time, guys, take care.